All right, guys, doing a very short video here, straight to the point to help you guys out. This is a Humvee. It's got the 6.5. It's very similar to the 6.2. Some Humvees have that, but it's got the 6.5 Detroit diesel. It has the same. It has the same injection pump basically that you'll see on all 6.5s that had the mechanical injection. There's a very easy way to turn these up, and I'm no expert. I've been reading on the internet, they recommend turning the screw about 1/8 if you're not doing, exhaust mods and a turbo and stuff like that, and up to 1/4 if you're going to start running a turbo on a non-turbo Humvee. I can't speak for the civilian trucks or anything else that uses the 6.5, but basically there's 3 screws here, here, and here. You'll have to unplug these 2 plugs. Okay, so you first unplug those. You take off, sorry, I might have said 6 screws. I meant to say 3, but you take off the 3 screws, and then the cover pops right off. Here's the cover. You do not need to disconnect that rubber line. And then you shine a very bright light in there, and you take I used a huge adjustable wrench, but you can use a big socket or whatever you want, and you rotate the alternator, this is the easiest thing to reach, towards you. And the alternator will actually free spin the other way, so you can kind of do a ratcheting action, and you keep shining your very bright light in there. And I Google online what the screw looks like, but eventually you will see that screw peek out and just barely be able to see it under that rod with the spring on it you see there. It helps a lot, and it's probably necessary to dry all the fuel up out of there. That thing will be full of fuel when you first take that cover off. Then you can, I don't have it here, but you need a 5/32 Allen with a ball end on it. Now, if you want, you can take all this stuff out and you can use a normal Allen, but the 5/32 Allen makes that a lot, it makes it so you don't have to take all that stuff out. Now, I'll caution, I fiddled with this for like 20 minutes because I thought either I was not sticking the Allen in the right spot or my screw was seized up or something, but that screw's pretty hard to turn, and that makes sense. The engineers probably didn't want that turning on its own because, there's a lot of vibration and rotationals going on in there. So I actually had to grab the Allen with a pair of pliers to slowly turn it to the right. To the right is up, by the way. Slowly turn it to the right in 1/8 turn. There's a very high chance that Allen ball could break off. So, I actually just used an Amazon one and it didn't break. I didn't realize it was going to be that hard to turn. Had I known that in advance, I probably, this would have been one of the few times I spent some money on a good quality set of tools and maybe got in, a name brand or something like that. Maybe even Snap-on or something. It's just an Allen wrench, so it can't hopefully be that expensive. So do this at your own risk. This way, you may break off your Allen ball, and then you're going to have to take all that stuff out anyways, and fish that thing out of there, which would be a little bit of a pain. Probably not as bad as backing out a broken bolt, but still not the greatest thing ever. But that's the easiest way to turn up your injection pump on a 6.5 Detroit diesel, or I believe the 6.2 as well, if you have the mechanical pump. And assuming nothing goes wrong, you don't snap the ball off your Allen wrench. So I'm going to go ahead and take this thing for a drive. And if you still want to keep watching the video, I'll just give you my gut feeling how much it improved the truck and the acceleration and everything. Quick note too, guys. I didn't realize this, and I had to wait an extra day because I didn't have the tool. But you need to buy this. It is a 5-point, I believe 5.1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, 5-point security Torx bit. It's a T25 on my Humvee anyway. That is what I needed to get those 3 screws off the cover. So buy one of these if it looks like you have the same thing. Once again, Torx bit, T25, security. It's got the little hole in the middle, and it's a 5-point. Very weird size. All right, so I pulled over at a Lutheran church here, which feels wrong because I'm a Catholic. But anyway, I'll show you a video in a second of me driving it. I don't know what you're going to see. It's hard to tell on a video an improvement, especially a small one like this. I'll tell you, the biggest thing is the truck does not feel way faster, but it does feel more torquey. And I think that makes sense because the 6.5 is a very torquey engine. Also, not sure how much of this might be the, what do they call it? The sugar pill effect or whatever it's called. I can't think of the word. You know, I'm not sure if I'm imagining some of this. But I feel like it feels more torquey. It doesn't feel like it wants to shift down and turn crazy RPMs going up every hill now. It does feel, I would say, a good 35% more torquey and maybe 10% more fast. So this is not going to make it feel like it has turbocharger or something, especially with only an 1/8 turn. But I'll quit yapping and just do a little video of me driving. I'll get on it kind of heavily and just show you, you know, if you have a Humvee, maybe you'll kind of get a feel for it. I'll take off pretty heavily from this yield and just see what she does. I had to slow down for that guy. He started sprinting. It's like, dude, I think he thought I was going to run him over. All right, so we're rolling about 40 miles an hour. I'll go ahead and flat foot it and you can watch the needle fly. All right, 1, 2, 3. So, I'll pull over in a second so I can talk. So, if I had to quantify this or put a general explanation to it, I would say that the truck has become much more drivable. You know, before, it definitely felt like some very slow, high-revving, military piece of industrial equipment. Is the best way I could explain it. Now, it's not fast still, but it feels like a very, very slow civilian vehicle, right? So something you might actually buy on the private market and drive around. Just to kind of give you, you know, a way to quantify this, if a Cadillac CTS-V or a Ram TRX, or I like American cars, but you know, let's say a Mercedes, whatever, you know, a G-Wagon, whatever. If that is a 10 out of 10 on the drivability scale on, you know, public roads, I would give this, the Humvee, before I did this mod, I'd give it only like a 1 out of 10. Just pretty bad. You know, I might give like a tractor or a literal piece of equipment like a 0.5 to a 0.7. So it was, I mean, it's one of the slowest things I've ever driven in my life, and it just sounds like the motor is screaming all the time in stock form. In this form, after making that adjustment, I would be willing to probably give it a 2.5 to a 3, which I would rank somewhere in the neighborhood of like a, let's say a 4-cylinder Jeep, right? Like the old 4-cylinder, a 2.5, you know, back when they had the inline 6, the inline 4. I would kind of compare it to something like that. Still incredibly slow, you know, still like not super drivable, but a 4-cylinder Jeep in stock form, it kind of feels like that, where at least it's manageable and it's not like ridiculous now. So I'm in a really long roundabout way trying to say it has made the vehicle at least at the level of a slow civilian vehicle now. So the only other thing I'll say, and I read this somewhere a long time ago, I don't know if it's true, comment below if you think I'm wrong, but I have read that Humvee 6.5s and 6.2s, maybe, I think it's just a 6.5, they actually detune those motors a little bit for longevity. And I say they, I mean the military. So I think when you, I could be wrong, but I think when you buy a Humvee, the motor is actually tuned down lower than what a civilian 6.5 Detroit diesel, like you saw in the old pickup trucks and stuff like that, it's actually tuned to have a little bit less torque and power than that. So by doing this mod, I don't think I'm endangering the motor or gonna have super high EGTs, exhaust gas temps. I've been watching my tailpipe. Black smoke is not coming out of it, even at full throttle. At least not obvious, you know, there's probably a little bit. And I feel like I've just brought the truck up to a level that's practical for everyday driving like I do with it. And it just, random vibration that happens in the Humvee, but it just feels so much more reasonable and more enjoyable to drive. It's definitely not fast. So, appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you in the next one. I need a drink of water. Please like and subscribe. I think I swallowed a fly. Please like and subscribe, and I appreciate your support. And we're almost at, or we're past 12,000 subscribers. So that's awesome, guys. Thanks. See you in the next one.